We live. We live. Let me get my joint right. Let me get my joint right. We live. New York City. We live. Check Sean G out. We live. New York City. We live. Check Sean G out. Check Sean G out. Check Sean G. Jamil, what up? Check Sean G out. Check Sean G out. We live. We in New York. We in New York. We in New York. This is the podcast for Soul. Share this video with somebody in your family, your friends, your co-worker, people that you have been arguing with about the Puffy trial, with your family, your friends, whoever. We live on the scene. Puffy's lawyers have just filed a new motion demanding Puffy be released. Hit that live button. It's 91 of y'all in here. I got 21 thumbs up. I need 100 thumbs up. Hit that like button. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Y'all gotta check me out. Y'all gotta check me out. How many I got? I ain't got but 30. I need more than 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 30. How many I got? 43. I need more. Sidebar. They only gave me 43 likes. Sidebar. Sidebar. I need 100. I need 100 thumbs up. I need 100 likes and I need 100 shares. 02. Gucci Black Riders. What up? Hawk. Vernon White. Puffy's lawyers. I have to make a correction. Tenny Garagos and Mark Garagos are not Greek. They do not have a Greek ancestry, a Greek bloodline. They are from Armenia. They are Armenian. Tenny Garagos is Armenian. Tenny Garagos cross-examined Jane Doe and made Jane Doe start crying on the witness stand. Yes, she did. I was there. I saw the whole thing. 71, 73, 27 more. Hurry up. Tenny Garagos and Mark Agnifilo have filed a new motion. Judge Subramanian, you need to release Puffy tonight. You need to release Puffy tonight. They have filed a letter motion in response to Alexandra Shapiro filed the motion first. Then the cheaters came back and filed a rebuttal. Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos have filed a new letter motion rebutting the cheaters. Who are the cheaters? Somebody put it in the live chat. Who cheated? Who cheated the whole trial? Strictly flippers. Kenyatta Ali. Who cheated? SDNY. Put SDNY, Southern District of New York. Who cheated? Put it in the live chat. Who cheated? Every day. There you go, Gucci Black Rider. Catherine Sinkfield, Gary Spann, Julia Hodges. Who cheated? There you go. So, what they have done, Puffy's girlfriend, Gina, wrote a letter. Puffy's girlfriend Gina wrote a letter on Puffy's behalf telling you, Judge Submaranian, that, and we're gonna read it, that she wants Puffy to be free. Puffy deserves to be released. Puffy is, we're gonna read the letter. Cassie is a rat. Cassie got on the stand. Puffy facing life in prison. Cassie got on the stand and pointed at Puff. He did it. Jane Doe is a rat. Puffy paying her rent, $10,000 a month, and for her lawyer in the trial. Jane Doe got on the stand. Puffy facing life in prison. Jane Doe pointed at Puff and said, he did it. Sent him to prison for life. Gina, this is Puffy's other girlfriend. Puffy had a bunch of honeys, man. Puffy had a bunch of girls. But Gina, Cassie, Gina wrote a letter for Puff, Cassie. Cassie was jealous. Cassie got on the stand and told Anna Estevello she was jealous of Kim Porter and she was jealous of Gina. Puffy couldn't leave Gina alone. The kitty cat was too good. All Gina had to do was call Puffy up and say, yo, come get some of this, let's do the raccoon. Gina's raccoon was too good. He couldn't leave her alone. He was dealing with Cassie, and he had some more honeys. But he couldn't leave Gina alone. He loved Gina. This is Gina's letter. Let's read it together. Let's read it together. Dear Your Honor, my name is Virginia Hun. I am writing as the person identified as victim number 3 in the indictment. Gina was in the indictment as victim number 3, and Gina didn't even come. She didn't even come. She didn't even come. She didn't even show up. They told Gina, Gina, come and rat on Puff. Come testify against Puff. Come send Puffy to prison forever. St. Louis in the building. Gina, come send Puffy to prison for life. We are gonna call you as a witness. Gina was in the indictment. Gina didn't even show up. Gina said, I'm not coming down there. I'm not doing that to him. That man helped me. He paid some of my bills. That man gave me money. That man paid my rent, bought me a car. That man bought me clothes, took me on trips. That man showed me love. Yeah, we have relationship issues. You understand? Like everybody else, we fight, we argue. You understand? He may have put his hands on me, you understand? But I'm not coming down there to rat on him. Gina said, I'm not coming down there. No, I ain't. No, I ain't. No, I ain't. The cheaters told Gina, sue Puffy for $10 million. We're gonna give you immunity and come and testify against Puff and send him to prison. Cassie's doing it. Jane Doe is doing it. Dawn Rashad is doing it. Brianna Bogelin is doing it. Mia is doing it. They all sued him. You sue him too, and we're gonna protect you. You know what Gina told him? Man, hell no. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. No, I ain't. No, I ain't. No, I ain't. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. Dear Judge Submaranian, here go the letter. Here go the letter. My name is Virginia Hun. I am writing as the person identified as victim 3 in this trial. I have known Sean Combs for many years in both a professional and a personal capacity. From that experience, I have seen him primarily as a father, a family man, and a businessman, roles that he has always striven to uphold. I provide this letter to you, Judge Submaranian, to share my observations about his character and to respectfully request that you, Judge Submaranian, the court permit his release on bond while the case proceeds. I acknowledge and respect that Mr. Combs stands accused and that the court must weigh public safety and the integrity of the legal process. At the same time, I believe it is important for you, Judge Submaranian, for the court to have a full picture of who Puffy is beyond these allegations. Go ahead, Gina. This Puffy girl right here. This Puffy girl right here. When Puffy get out, Gina gonna give him some. Gina gonna give him some. She gonna say, you want some? Puff gonna say, yeah, I want some. She gonna say, come get some. Puffy say, I'm on my way. This is Gina. Our relationship, like many relationships, was not always perfect. We experienced ups and downs, and mistakes were made, but he was willing to acknowledge his mistakes and make better decisions in the future. Over the years that followed, he made visible efforts to become a better person and to address the harm he had caused. By the time our relationship ended, he embodied an energy of love, patience, gentleness that was markedly different from his past behavior. To my knowledge, he has not been violent for many years, and he has been committed to being a father first. Judge Submaranian, I am writing because I do not view Puffy as a danger to me or to the community. This is his first criminal case. Throughout the investigation and the proceedings, he has been cooperative, respectful, and compliant. He has substantial ties to his family and community, including children who depend on him for emotional and financial support. Granting him bond would allow Puffy to continue caring for his family and fulfilling his responsibilities while still subject to the court's supervision. I want to ensure you, Judge Submaranian, that if Puffy is released, I believe Puffy will adhere to all conditions imposed and will not jeopardize his freedom or the well-being of his family. Allowing him to be at home will also support the healing process for everybody involved. Judge Submaranian, I respectfully ask that you consider these factors when deciding his eligibility for release. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully, Virginia Hun. Gina, that's Puffy's girl right here. This Puffy's girl. Puffy's girlfriend Gina wrote a letter to the judge helping him get out. Not like Cassie, who wrote a letter telling him to stay in there. Listen, when Puffy get out, Gina gonna be straight. Gina gonna be straight forever. She's gonna be straight. She's gonna be straight. Gina gonna be straight. If 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 Cassie calls Puff, he gonna be like, what you calling me for? What? Click. If Jane Doe call Puff, hello? Hey Puffy, this is Jane Doe. Click. But if Gina call, he gonna say, where you at, baby? You wanna give me some? I want some. I'm coming to get it now. What you need? You need a new car? You need a new apartment? What you need? You want new clothes? You wanna go shopping? What you wanna do? You wanna go to eat? You wanna go walk in the park? You wanna work out? Whatever you wanna do. Cause I thank you for being there for me. Come and give me some. And she gonna go give him some. Now, in the letter, there's an 8-page letter. In this letter, this is to Judge Subramanian. This letter is public information on PACER. This is written from all 8 attorneys signed this letter, except Jonathan Bach. Jonathan Bach made Dr. Dawn Hughes look like, she was deflated. By the time Jonathan Bach got through with her, she wanted to go, she could play handball with the curve. Let's read the letter. See, that's Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos' company. This is the letter coming straight from the paperwork. Dear Judge Subramanian, Sean Combs, through his counsel, which is us, the winners, Puffy's lawyers are the winners. Who are the winners? Who are Puffy's lawyers? Put it in the live chat. Puffy's lawyers are the winners. Who's Puffy's lawyers? Who's Puffy's lawyers? Put it in the live chat. Put it in the live chat. The winners, put the winners in the live chat. Put it in the live chat. Cooter Clapper.
That's not what you want, but, you know.
What's Puffy's lawyer's name? The winners, put it in the live chat. I was best. I didn't say that, Sharif. I didn't say the dream team. I said the winners. I didn't say to put the names in there. Y'all not paying attention. I'm gonna block it. Sharif the winner. There they go. There they go. Who Puffy's lawyers? Put it in the live chat. Rio. Andrew Green. I was best. Puffy #1. There they go. Calling my love. What up? Who cheated? Who the cheaters? Who the cheaters? Who cheated every day? Put it in the live chat. Who cheated every day? Put it in the live chat. SDNY. Put it in the live chat. There they go. There they go. Catherine Sinkfield. There you go. I didn't say that, Stan. I said SDNY. There they go. Sean Combs, through his counsel, submits this brief letter in reply to the government's response to his motion for release on conditions pending sentencing. Impervious to the jury's verdict. Impervious means incapable of being affected or harmed, incapable of being disturbed, right? Impervious, right? Can't be disturbed. Impervious to the jury's verdict, the cheaters proceed as though Combs was not acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, along with all of the racketeering acts with which he was charged and found not guilty. Hell-bent on punishing Puffy for being a user of prostitution services in a more draconian manner than anyone in the United States history, the losers continue to target Puffy unfairly, just as it has done from the inception of this probably misplaced investigation. There's a typo. There's a typo right there. They spelled it wrong. It should be probably P-R-O-B-A-B-L-Y. They spelled it P-R-O-V. It was a typo. I found it. I caught it. I'm on top of my game. Despite the jury's verdict, the cheaters continue Despite the jury's verdict, it continues to make factual statements that are plainly at odds. Despite the jury's verdict, the cheaters continue to make factual statements that are plainly at odds with what the 12 New Yorkers found, and to try to keep Puffy incarcerated even though the jury rejected the most serious charges that led to his pretrial detention in the first place. Specifically, the cheaters argued that Puffy has failed to meet the standard for reconsideration. Number 2, does not show exceptional circumstances. Number 3, cannot reasonably show Puffy's appearance in court or the safety of the community. For the reasons stated below, the government's arguments, the cheaters' arguments all fail. In this particular paragraph, they talk about the argument for reconsideration of bail, saying that on July the 2nd, 2025, when the 12 New Yorkers acquitted Puffy of RICO and racketeering conspiracy, and the 12 New Yorkers, the jury of all nationalities, all different nationalities, creeds, and genders were on the jury. When they acquitted Puffy of sex trafficking, that day at 11 o'clock, Judge SUBRAMANIAN told the cheaters and the winners to write a letter in support of their position. In this letter, Tenny Garagos and Mark Agnifilo shed light on the fact that this was a shotgun review. We only had a couple of minutes, a couple of hours to do our research and homework to find precedent cases to support Puffy's release. So we were only able to find 3 or 4 joints to support letting Puffy go on that day. But since that day, we have been able to show dozens of cases where the defendants in similar cases as Puff and more egregious behavior were granted bail, and Puffy is not. The cheaters first argue that Puffy's bail application should be, quote unquote, considered as a motion for reconsideration by Judge SUBRAMANIAN. However, The cheaters acknowledge in a footnote the Bail Reform Act is, quote unquote, silent on when or if a district judge may consider his or her own detention order pending sentence. The cheaters also concede that the court can reconsider its discussion under its inherent power to reconsider his own ruling. But all of the cases cited by the cheaters discuss bail pending appeal. Puffy is not appealing. He's awaiting sentencing. This court may order that pending imposition or execution of sentence or pending appeal of conviction or sentence, a person be released. Judge Subramanian, you may revisit your bail determination at any time. This makes sense as courts routinely modify conditions of bail pending sentencing to allow for travel or many other circumstances. And the high standard for reconsideration is not considered. This is especially true given the exigencies of July the 2nd, 2025, where the jury reached a verdict in the morning and the parties were given bail, the parties were arguing bail several hours later the same day. This is unlike more traditional settings for motions where parties typically have days, if not weeks, to consider the facts, the law, and their arguments. The events of July 2nd, 2025, when the cheaters lost and the winners won, were fast moving, and it was impossible for either party to review the scores of Mann Act cases to fashion an appropriate argument to the court. For these reasons, we submit that the court has ample discretion to consider this application and releasing Puffy tonight. Check this part out. Check this part out. Hold up. Let me give me some water. Let me give me some water. Hey, yo. Puffy played fair and square. Puffy played fair and square. Puffy played fair and square. Who played fair and square? Put it in the live chat. Who played fair and square the whole trial? Ebony May. Who played fair and square the whole trial? One New York bad boy. The praying man. Puffy played fair the whole trial. Who cheated? Put it in live chat. Who cheated? Concrete Hustle. Who cheated? Put it in the live chat. Who cheated? Kimberly Black, what up? Concrete Hustler. Sharita Hale. MacTown. SDNY. RGU Jones. Kimberly. The Southern District of New York cheated. Puffy played fair. Puffy played fair. They cheated and they lost. So I've just been notified that there is no typo in the document, that Provily, Provably, is a word. I gotta go look it up. Because I need to have another word to my tremendous vocabulary. I probably have one of the greatest vocabularies ever, but I never heard of that word, so I can always learn. Before I said it was a typo, it was not a typo. It's a real word. But anyway, let me get back to what I was doing. Check me out. For purposes of this application, we assume that the Mann Act requires detention post-verdict subject to exceptional circumstances. However, as shown in our original application of July 29th, 2025, the statute has been reserved for instances where people, primarily women, are forced into prostitution, where children are lured or forced into prostitution, and where the defendant is motivated by profiting from the business of prostitution. It has quite literally never been applied to the facts here, where a male defendant and his longtime companion agree to bring in. Come on, man. Hurry up, man. It's New York, man. Hurry up, man. It has quite literally never been applied to the facts here, where a male defendant and his longtime companion agreed to bring in other males into their adult consensual relationship. The cheaters are unable to and do not attempt to dispute this point, which alone amounts to an exceptional reason for release. Even the few other cases where the defendant of a Mann Act prosecution was a user of prostitution services are completely different from the instant case. The defense's bail application cited Trowbridge, Stebick, and Teals as examples of Johns solely convicted of the Mann Act, who all received bond after their conviction. So the police officer, the retired judge, and another dude, right, were all Johns. They all got convicted of the Mann Act, but they got bail. Not only were Trowbridge and Teals convicted of the Mann Act, the women that Trowbridge had sex with the women, Teals had sex with the women. And it was a recurring thing. The women that they had sex with were trafficked women, were part of a sex trafficking ring of another person who got convicted of sex trafficking in another case. The women couldn't speak English, and they had immigration problems, right? But they still got bail. You coming in? My man. But they still got bail. So Puffy's situation is less than that and as bad as that. I need 350 thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button. Hurry up. The cheaters argue that those defendants, Trowbridge, Tills, and Stebick, were not as culpable as Combs. That the defendant, Stebick, only had one occasion of transporting a victim across state lines. Defendant Trowbridge only had 2 occasions, and the defendant Tills had 6 occasions. What the cheaters ignore, however, is that the defendants were members of a group called the Jesters, who brought prostitutes across state lines to have sex for money with members of the group as a common practice, not just the occasions indicted. Moreover, the victims for all 3 defendants were victims of sex trafficking. They could hardly speak English. They were undocumented immigrants who were tricked and coerced to work as prostitutes by a defendant in a related case who profited from their forced labor. It cannot possibly be, go with the cops, man, with the sirens. Man, they coming back around again, man. What's wrong with these people, man? Same girl, same ambulance. It cannot possibly be that patronizing sex trafficked undocumented victims is less culpable than the conduct with Puffy, where these alleged victims were adult American men who chose to participate in a sexual activity, got paid thousands of dollars, and considered themselves friends of Puffy, friends of Jane Doe, friends of Cassie. Notably, regarding Stebick, the defendant was a member of the Jesters, and yet the government argued that the defendant did not even have sex with the victim. Same thing with Puff. Puffy Combs did not have sex with the men here. Same thing. 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 Stebick didn't have sex with the women, and Puffy didn't have sex with the men. It's right here. It's right here. Mark Agnifilo, Tenny Garagos, and all 8 of the lawyers, including Jonathan Bach, they got another paragraph. Check me out. Check Sean G out. The government, the cheaters, brushed over Collins. Collins was a case. Collins was a case down in Mississippi where, is that Clayton? I think it's Clayton and Collins. Down in Mississippi where my man, it was a dude and a lady. They were trafficking people and they got busted for the Mann Act. They went to trial and got a mistrial. But then they did a retrial on just the Mann Act joint. They got a mistrial on the sex trafficking and all the other stuff. So when the mistrial came, they were allowed to be free on bond. They then got retried on the Mann Act, got convicted, and was still allowed to be free on bond. Look at my pigeons right here. Check my pigeons out. Look at my pigeons. I got better pigeons than you. Look at my pigeons. I got the dope pigeons. My pigeons better than your pigeons. Check them out. That's a New York pigeon. Them New York pigeons. The government brushes over Collins, where Collins was released following a mistrial on sex trafficking counts, then tried for violating the Mann Act. Collins was convicted of the Mann Act and allowed to remain on bond pending sentencing. Collins's conduct was far more egregious, as the victim called 911 stating that she was being held against her will. This shows that Puffy's continued detention pending sentencing, despite his acquittal on the charges that actually involve true violence, unlike the Mann Act counts, is unwarranted and extraordinary. And these are exceptional circumstances warranting Puffy's release. So, here we go, coming back to the race issue, the foundational Black American male issue, right? Collins were involved in a sex trafficking case, and the girl called 911 and told the 5-0, yo, they won't let me leave. They won't let me leave. Essentially, kidnapping. She told 911 she was being held against her will. This is the paperwork. Yet, in that case, he got bail. He got bail. So why Puffy can't get no bail? Why Puffy can't get no bail? He basically paid for sex like you did yesterday. I don't gotta pay for sex, fake profile boy. Honeys give it to me for free. Honeys give me the kitty cat for free. They want to give me some. I'm from a different generation, clown. You the one that's... Hold on a second. What's up, baby? Hello? Yeah. What's up, baby? Yeah. He right here. He on with the fake profile. Saying I gotta pay. Say I pay you. Do I pay you? Yeah, I know I don't. You give it to me because you want me to have it, don't you? Don't you want me to have it? Yeah, I know you do. But why he on here messing with me? Telling lies, somebody I paid for it. You busted him? You saw his cash app and his PayPal, he be paying, he be on Tinder, paying for the kitty cat? Yeah, I'm his favorite YouTuber. He got big posters of me in his house. He want to be like me. He copy me. Oh, okay, you pay me, don't you? You like when I hit that, don't you? You like giving me some? This your girl, chump. This your girl, fake what? Huh? Well, call him up. Tell him to leave me alone. Call him and give him some so he can leave me alone. He in my life. Give him some. Let him hit it. Then I'm gonna hit it a little later. You know I hit it better than he do. I do the raccoon better than him. All right, peace. Yeah, I know you love me. All right. That was your girl, chump. Then they go on to talk about MDC Brooklyn. The Southern District of New York, Damian Williams and the Cheaters said that everything is better at MDC Brooklyn. No, it ain't. Because with the new budget cuts, they done cut back on staffing. There's still contraband in there. The MS-13, there's stabbings in there. Puffy on this floor. Puffy right here on this floor. On the floor above Puff, a nigga got stabbed. They stabbed the nigga in there. Puffy down here, the floor on top, nigga got stabbed. All kind of violence. Hollywood T. Page 408. Yo, Tony, what's up? My man right here, his honey like to do the raccoon with me. She say, Sean, I like the way you do the raccoon. You do the raccoon better than him. You do it better than him. Contrary to the cheaters' contention, living conditions at MDC Brooklyn remain inhumane, and the conditions seem unlikely to improve due to the aggressive government budget cuts. Check this out. MDC Brooklyn routinely serves food that is expired and infested with maggots. The maggot-infested food captured in the photo, unfortunately, is not an uncommon experience. Lockdowns also remain common despite the government's claims. For example, MDC Brooklyn sent a notice to detainees that they will be on lockdown from February 22nd, 2025 to at least March 3rd, 2025, because multiple inmates became disruptive and utilized weapons during an incident. On March the 6th, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of New York, we can't call them cheaters because they over there in Brooklyn. We ain't been up against them yet, but we'll beat them too. Mark Agnifilo and them, they'll beat them too. The Eastern District of New York announced criminal charges against 25 defendants in 12 separate cases relating to violence, contraband smuggling, all of which occurred recently between April 2024 and the present. These include charges against 15 inmates for violent assaults against other inmates, a former correctional officer for attempting to smuggle in contraband into MDC Brooklyn, an inmate for orchestrating a contraband smuggling operation, an inmate for smuggling ceramic scalpels into the facility, an inmate for possession of contraband and continuing to commit fraud while detained at MDC Brooklyn, an MS-13 gang member for attempting to smuggle in a large package of contraband, including 18 cell phones and weed, to other MS-13 gang members incarcerated at MDC. Additionally, just 2 weeks ago, an inmate was stabbed on the floor above Puffy. A nigga got stabbed. Two weeks ago, Puffy on this floor, on the floor on top. One of them niggas stabbed another nigga on the floor, stabbed him up. In Brooklyn, MDC Brooklyn. MDC Brooklyn. Right over there. Brooklyn right over there. Brooklyn right over there. The Bronx is up there. Harlem and the Bronx is up there. Queens is over there. Jersey is over there. I know where everything at. If you want to do a New York City tour with me, send me an email at thepodcastwassold@gmail.com, or you can DM me on my Instagram, The Podcast Was Sold. I do the best New York City tours ever. I'm the best at that. I can take you anywhere. Tell me how many days you want. We got to work out the price. It's not free. I'm very expensive because I'm the best. If you want the best, you got to pay for the best. If you want to work out at a park, or you want me to take you to see the Statue of Liberty, the Statue of Liberty is in Jersey City. Geographically, New York stole it. New York stole it. New York cheated and said the Statue of Liberty is in New York, but it's really in Jersey City. TB, thank you for that super chat. Thank you for joining the channel membership. Shout out to TB. Where the Statue of Liberty at? Put it in the live chat. The Statue of Liberty is in Chilltown, Jersey City. New York stole it. Where the Statue of Liberty at? Where the Statue of Liberty at? Put it in the live chat. Chilltown. Christopher Broadway, what up? Tony, there you go. Akash, Chilltown. Statue of Liberty is in Jersey City. North Jersey, we was the first to go platinum in hip hop. If it ain't for North Jersey, hip hop don't be what it be. We went platinum first. Yes, we did. We beat the Bronx, we beat Harlem, we beat Brooklyn, we beat Queens, we beat Staten Island, we beat everybody. North Jersey went platinum first in hip hop in 1979. So the least y'all could do is say thank you, because without us, it probably wouldn't be none of this. Check me out. Then a whole bunch of, look, then there's another page, page 5, the whole page is redacted. But that's all right, because we know for Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos and Brian Steele and Nicole Westmoreland and Xavier Donaldson and Jason Driscoll and Anna Esteveo and Jonathan Bach and Alexander Shapiro, it's okay if they redact stuff, because we know they play fair and square. They don't cheat. But the cheaters, the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams and the Southern District of New York, they cheat. So don't look at this letter and say that they cheat. They beat, Puffy beat the government. He beat the Southern District of New York. Beat him bad. And you can't change it. Y'all lost. They lost. In the remaining part of the letter, Puffy's lawyers, the winners. Shout out to Tenny Garagos from Armenia, Mark Agnifilo from the Bronx, Arthur Avenue up there in the Bronx. Up in the Bronx, there's a spot in the Bronx where all the Italians hang out at. It's called Arthur Avenue, or they used to be. That's what Mark Agnifilo from the Bronx. The whole Southern District of New York is studying Mark Agnifilo's closing argument because it was magnificent. It was magnificent. Mark Agnifilo's closing argument was monumental. It was magnificent. It was trial lawyer excellence. And all of the Southern District of New York, they study his closing argument every day because that's what put Puffy over the top. Put Puffy over the top. Mark Agnifilo put on a clinic. He took him to school. Took him to school. So, the remaining part of the letter talks about the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams and the cheaters continue to argue that Puffy is violent. He can't be really, he's a danger to the community. Well, he's in MDC Brooklyn. It's violence going on all over. Puffy has not been into no confrontation with no CO, no other inmate. He hasn't been uncooperative. He's been a model prisoner. Puffy has been a model prisoner in MDC Brooklyn. So get out of here with that argument. Now, in this letter that Puffy's lawyers wrote, it mentions that in Damian Williams' rebuttal, they mention violence, and they bring up Breonna Bogelin. Let me read it to you. Second, the Southern District of New York, the cheaters argue that the trial record is replete with evidence of Puffy's acts of violence towards others. The witnesses that the cheaters called testified in support of the racketeering conspiracy and the sex trafficking charges, all of which the jury of 12 New Yorkers acquitted him of that. So all of the witnesses that the cheaters called and talked about violence, wasn't Puffy violent? Puffy was violent. And they got on the stand because they had lawsuits. Yeah, he was violent. Puffy was acquitted of all of those charges. So you can't use those arguments of charges he was acquitted for on a charge that he was convicted for. But the Southern District of New York cheated all through the trial, and they continue to cheat in there, keeping Puffy in Brooklyn. Brooklyn over there. Brooklyn right over there. MDC Brooklyn right over there. And stunningly, the cheaters are trying to support Puffy's detention with its failed evidence that Puffy assaulted Breonna Bogelin. Breonna testified that Puffy caused her substantial injury in Los Angeles at a time when Puffy was 3,000 miles away in Harlem. Breonna Bogelin said Puffy caused a substantial injury in LA, but Puffy was in a hotel over here in New York. What hotel was Puffy staying in when Breonna lied on him and perjured herself? What hotel in New York? Put it in the live chat. Who owned that hotel? Put that hotel in the live chat. Winner, there you go. There you go, Milton Scott. Whose hotel he was staying in? Call him. Jay Jackson. Margie Harris, Tony. Iris Wood. Right. Puffy was over here. We got more. We got more. The government, the Southern District of New York, the cheaters troublingly also point to unsworn evidence of non-testifying individuals to try to keep Puffy in custody in Brooklyn. Brooklyn over there. The government, the cheaters had a 2-month trial where it could have, but chose not to, call these witnesses when they would have been subject to cross-examination. They didn't want that, and their allegations could have been tested. The cheaters should not be able to support their argument to keep Puffy in jail with untested accusations, as they did at the pretrial hearing. For example, it argued that Puffy was violent toward Virginia Gina Hunt, with whom the defendant was in a relationship with at the same time as Cassie. Gina has written a letter in support of Puffy's motion for bond. So Cassie ratted. Cassie is getting sued by one of the male escorts. It is allegedly Cassie gave one of the male escorts chlamydia and STD. Cassie got on the stand, pointed at Puffy, and testified against Puff to send him to prison for life. Cassie rented Puffy an apartment at one of the biggest developers in New York City in the West End. Who owned that apartment building that Puffy rented Cassie an apartment in, who also owned the hotel that Puffy was in when Breonna Bogelin said that he was in Los Angeles? So Puffy stayed in my man's hotel whenever he came to New York, and then he rented Cassie an apartment in one of my man's apartment buildings. Who is it? Catherine Sinkfield. Anthony Fuller, I see you. So Puffy said some bad things about my man, and Puffy owed my man an apology. But send this to my man in Puffy's stead, in Puffy's absence, in lieu of Puff's apology. I want to say to my man, Puffy's a foundational Black American man. I'm a foundational Black American man. I apologize for Puff. We was wrong. We shouldn't have said that about you. We shouldn't have said that about you. We was wrong. And we admit that. But what you need to know is that we rented Cassie an apartment in one of your apartment buildings, and we always stayed at your hotel. But we was wrong for saying what we said. We apologize. I'm apologizing for Puff. Check me out. But you ain't gotta, if you don't want to do If you don't want to do the thing, you ain't got to do it, because we going to beat them again anyway. We beat them at trial anyway, and we going to beat them in the retrial if Judge SUBRAMANIan doesn't give a Rule 29 motion. So Gina wrote a letter on Puff's behalf that I read for y'all. Gina is down with Puff. Cassie got lawsuits. She got major lawsuits with the male entertainers. Cassie should have been a co-conspirator, but we're not on that. But anyway, everybody do me a favor. Can y'all do me a favor? If you could do me a favor, put a 4 in the live chat. If you could do me a favor, put a 4 in there. Put a 4 in the live chat. Put a 4 in the live chat if you could do me a favor. All right, this is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to go in the live chat and say, all power to Gina. Put it in the live chat. All power to Gina. Gina stayed true. Gina didn't take the stand and testify against Puff. Gina just wrote a letter to get him up out of there. All power to Gina. Stan, I see all power to Gina. And send this to Cassie, because Cassie was jealous of Gina. All power to Gina. All power to Gina. Check me out. All power to Gina. Puffy gonna straighten you out when he get out. He gonna straighten you out. He got to. He may have a girl. He may have a girl, but he gotta, Puffy gonna tell his girl, say, hey, you my baby, you my lady and all that. Me and you, we super fly. But this girl helped me when I needed help. When I was on my back. When I was flat on my back, Gina came through and helped me. I gotta show her some love. I got to. I got to. My mother told me this. My mother told me this. My mother used to tell me this all the time. You gonna find your friends 2 times. My mother was from Georgia. She was a down south country girl. From Georgia, from the country woods. I love me a country girl. I love down south women. And down south women love me. Down south women love niggas from New York and New Jersey. They love us. And you know what? We love y'all too. My mother was from Georgia. Born 1943. You gonna find your friends 2 times. You ain't gonna find your friends but 2 times. When you sick and when you in trouble. Whoever come see about you then, them your friends. You ain't gonna find your friends but 2 times. You hear me? And hear me good. You gonna find your friends when you sick and when you in trouble. Whoever come see you then, them your friends. Gina, Puffy is in trouble. Gina came to his rescue and wrote a letter. Everybody put in the live chat, shout out to Georgia Gumby. My mother's name was Georgia. She was from Georgia, and her name was Georgia. Put in the live chat. Shout out to Georgia Gumby. Put Georgia Gumby in the live chat. Put it in the live chat. That's little Sean's grandmother. That's little Sean's grandmother. Put it in the live chat. There it go. I see you, Stan. Jay Jackson, I see you. Lynn Porter, I see you. Put it in the line. Miss Georgia, there you go. That's my mother. Yes, it is. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Sylvia Davis, I see you. You gonna find your friends 2 times. When you sick and when you in trouble. If they don't come see you while you're sick, they ain't your friends. If they don't come help you when you in trouble and they know you need help, them ain't your friends. Whoever comes see you then, them your friends. Them your friends right there. Them your friends. R.J.U. Jones, there you go, I see you. Georgia Gumby's still alive, you goddamn right. You looking at her. You looking at Georgia Gumby. Here she go. Here she go. I'm still alive. And y'all gonna have to see me one day. Y'all gonna have to see me one day. You know who I'm talking about. They know who I'm talking about. Georgia Gumby's still alive. So that's the letter. That's the letter. Judge Submaranian, let Puffy out tonight. Let Puffy out of there. I need y'all to do me a favor. Can y'all do me a favor? If you could do me a favor, put an 8 in the live chat. If you could do me a favor, put an 8 in the live chat. I need y'all to do me one more favor, then I'm finna go. I'm hungry. I ain't had nothing to eat all day. I've been fasting. I look good. I look good under these clothes. I look good with these clothes on or with them off, either way. I just look good either way. In the movie, A Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson and Matthew McConaughey. How many of y'all saw that movie? Carla, you already know. You already know. But Carla, you 6 feet tall. I'm only 5'7", but that don't matter. All the girls I dated, I used to date a girl one time. I'm a short nigga, right? I'm only 5'7", right? I used to date a girl, she was 5'10", 5'11". I used to have to get on my tippy toes to kiss her. I used to do this. Look, I used to do this. I used to do this, y'all. I used to have to get on my tippy toes to kiss her. I didn't care. And she was in love with me too, though. She was in love with me too, because I'm all that. I'm all that. Hey, Harlem World King. Harlem World King. I had to get on my tippy toes to kiss her. I had to do this. She looked, hey, Harlem World King. She looked down, she kissed me like this. That's all right, though. But we used to do the raccoon. When we used to do the raccoon, it didn't matter how tall I was when we used to do the raccoon. It didn't matter. It didn't matter when we was doing the raccoon. But look, check this out right here. Check this out right here. In the movie, A Time to Kill, Samuel L. Jackson, Matthew McConaughey was his lawyer. It took place in Mississippi, and Samuel L. Jackson had killed these white men that took his daughter's kitty cat. His daughter was like 12 years old. And Matthew McConaughey was a white lawyer from the same town in Mississippi and representing Samuel L. Jackson, a black man who had killed these 2 white dudes for violating his daughter. And when Samuel L. Jackson went to knock off the 2 white dudes that killed to kill his daughter, he shot a cop. He shot a cop by accident. He didn't mean to shoot. So they put the cop on the stand to testify against Samuel L. Jackson. But the cop told him, said, man, if that was my daughter, if them guys did that to my daughter, I would have did the same thing Samuel L. Jackson did. And then that cop looked at everybody in the court. He said, turn him loose. Turn him loose. Turn Puffy loose. Turn him loose. Turn him loose in the live chat. Turn him loose. Turn him loose. Turn him loose in the live chat. Turn him loose. Turn him loose. Turn Puffy loose. Turn him loose. Turn him loose. Judge Submaranian, turn him loose. You ain't got a leg to stand on. The only option you got, Judge Submaranian, is to free Puffy tonight. Let him out of there tonight. Puffy won. The cheaters lost. You saw them cheating. Judge Submaranian, you saw them cheating. You saw they cheated. Turn Puffy loose. Let him out of there tonight, not tomorrow. Let him out tonight. Freddie, if you don't get me my money tonight, Superfly. Superfly. Turn him loose. Hey, Iris Wood, Priest told Freddie owed Priest some money. And my man brought Freddie over there. He said, Freddie, you playing with my money, man. He said, I want my money. Priest said, if you don't give me my money tonight, I'm gonna put your girl out there on horse rope. If you don't get me my money tonight, say he want his money tonight. Judge Submaranian, free Puffy tonight. Let him out of there. Let my foundational Black American brother go. Y'all done cheated him. Judge Submaranian, you sat there and you watched him cheat and you ain't do nothing. Let my black brother go. Foundational Black America. That's right. We from the United States of America. I was here before Christopher Columbus got here. When Christopher Columbus got here, I said, what's up, white boy, what you want? He said, what's up, Sean G? I said, what's up, nigga? Sean G, podcast was sold. It don't never stop. Judge Submaranian is under pressure to free Puff. Puffy deserves to go home. And that's that. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram. The podcast was sold. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram. The podcast was sold. TikTok, the podcast was sold. YouTube, podcast was sold. Spotify, the podcast was sold. I gave the best coverage out of everybody that was ever down here. My coverage was the best. All the YouTubers, shout out to all the YouTubers, all the TikTokers, all the Instagrammers that came and covered the trial. We changed the game. We destroyed mainstream media. We have changed the way that high-profile cases will be covered from here on out. And free Puff, Sean G. Peace.